Shoot, hold on. I'm sorry. The phone just fell. One more. Sorry. Okay, say it one more time, brother.
No, Larry Reed, he for sure molested me.
Wow.
And this didn't happen. I saw he was trying to say that. Well, I'll get to that in a second. But so the police report that's filed. So when it was filed, so when I first spoke to the detective, they had to give. And he needed me to give a physical address at the time. That was the only address. I lived with him in a couple of different locations. So he moved around quite a bit during that time. And I lived with him at several different locations. And that was the only address that I could remember. This was years later. That was the only address that I could remember, just off the top of my head. And that I knew that it happened at that address. So that's why that address is on the police report.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to the age thing. So one of the other guys I talked to, it was a couple years ago, I did an interview with a guy, and me talking quick, I said 14. I met him early 2006. I can't remember the exact month, but it was like January, February, March, somewhere in there, right? And from there that's when I met him. But the actual inappropriate behavior started maybe a few months after that. So the actual age, I want to just make that clear. I was 15 when it happened. And he wants to push this narrative of me being 14 and all that. But like the reality is, this man did something inappropriate with a teenager, a child.
So do you want to get into what he did, brother, really quickly?
I mean, in a nutshell, man, he molested me. So the ground of it is he basically manipulated me, and I said this on the other interview, but he manipulated me because of the father void that I didn't have. I didn't have my dad at the time, and he knew I needed that void filled. And the entire relationship, he gave it a spiritual basis. And the entire time he was preying on me because he felt like I could be easily manipulated. And so that's what happened. He started out real casually, and you tell you one of the clips with the underwear thing, and it just progressed from there, man. And hold on, let me speak to this real quick, man. The second clip that you played is crazy. I've never heard that clip about the whole I've sucked dick before, like that. I've never heard that. That's crazy. And so I've never heard him say that before, like on a platform. So just so I'm clear, right? Me personally, I've never performed any sexual acts on this cat. None of that. That wasn't what happened. What I'm specifically talking about are things that he did to me and gave it a spiritual basis. Like the entire reason for the things that he did with me, it was he gave it a spiritual basis, saying it was his way of protecting me from being a version of myself that wasn't good. So he was like, he felt like I was going to be a womanizer, or either I was going to be a gay male, right? And he would always have me come to him anytime I felt the urge to have sex, basically. And he would say, well, I'm gonna help you through that process. And so he gave it a very spiritual context, right? And with me, because of the age that I was at, I wasn't able to fully understand what was happening. And now, my mind is more mature. I'm able to see it with 20/20 vision, man. He finessed me from the beginning. From the beginning, he was finessing me. And I'm just able to see that now, man. It's unfortunate, but I'm able to see it very clear now. And he just preyed on that whole not having my dad there, man. We would have very intimate conversations about that, and he knew how I felt about not having my dad in my life. And he just used that to his advantage, man. To his advantage. At the time, he wasn't married. I think they got divorced I think it was like the second time. They got divorced and remarried like 3 or 4 times. I think this was like the second divorce. And he would even, talk to me about that. It was like it was developing like this like father-son relationship. And so I trusted him, and I just trusted him. And my naive nature at the time.